We are a very peaceful people. Efroto Kingdom is a very peace-loving kingdom. We have the zero tolerance to indiscipline. We don't encourage Jacobizing in this kingdom. Because we are small, geographically, we want to be large in some other areas. So we ensure that security is achieved at its peak, because it's our desire to encourage non-indigenous to come here and invest. We take that as a very serious business, encouraging non-indigenous and indigenous alike who have money but are in diaspora to come home and invest. That is why we don't play with our security. To enforce that, because of our non-closeness to the police and other law enforcement agents, we have our own security outfit, the vigilante group, that is well supervised and therefore disciplined. They are our local policemen, while the state government and federal government are bickering over the need to have state police. We have our own kingdom police. We don't need approval for that. We need to secure ourselves. So we have our kingdom police, which is the vigilante group, and they report directly to me to ensure that whatever they do is within the mandate that the kingdom has given to them. The major occupation of Efroto is traditionally farming. We are involved in agriculture, cassava production, for example, fishing, but we want to move from this traditional mundane approach to agriculture to a much modern way of producing things agriculturally. So we are requesting that the state government and other agencies of government like DESUPADEC, like NDDC, should come and interact with us to see how the agricultural business of Efroto can be moved to the next level. Because if you move around, you will see that we have at least 10 agricultural-based cooperatives that were established to take advantage of Fadama. The last Fadama is what we are involved in, Fadama 4. Abi? 3.
Fadama 3C4.
Fadama 3C4. We are involved in it, and 10 cooperative bodies were established. The enthusiasm with which these cooperatives were established and participated in the scheme demonstrates that if there are overtures from government as to how to push agriculture to a level of modernity, we will do very well. We will do very well because our land is fertile. Today, because of our encouragement, a non-indigenous established a fishing project here, which is about the biggest privately owned fish farm in Delta State today. Yes. Beyond that, the indigenous are also involved in such productive enterprises. Behind this palace is my farm. The idea is if the king can farm, it means that everybody can farm. So it's like a pilot scheme It's like walking the talk. It's not just encouraging people, go and farm, go and farm, go and farm. Somebody can wake up one day, farm good well, now you don't farm. So I farm. The gari I eat, I don't buy. We do what we call urugare. Urugare means that I have the land, but you have the power to do the farm. So you do the farm. You take 2 tons of the proceeds, I take 1 ton. Okay? I don't buy big pepper. I don't buy. There are so many things we can actually do. Something happened in Nasarawa, in one of these states in the north, and we are all crying because of onions. And on Facebook, you see people not joking. I'm a beautiful girl. Here is onions. If you have to choose as a man, which one will you choose, onions or the girl? Onions suddenly has become a very big deal. Yes. And that is because we are lazy in the Niger Delta. We are very, very lazy. When we're growing up, we're not buying big pepper from the north. Every compound used to have pepper. When you want to cook, you go and pluck. We have large farms for the small pepper. We harvest, we dry them, put them there. We don't buy. Now you go through the villages and look for okra. I look for starch here, I don't see starch because people are becoming lazy. So we are lazy. We need to be encouraged beyond the level of present day participation in agriculture. Yeah, so that's for that. The business potential. Because we have a commanding environment, an environment that encourages non-natives to come in, we can say that Efroto is an industrious haven. Because of our peculiar positioning, and because of our natural endowment, we are blessed with oil and gas. So the major area of investment we want to sell out to the public is oil and gas. And as a matter of fact, is predominant, very predominant gas. As oil is wearing off, gas is coming up, it means that Efroto is the place to be. Yeah. Efroto is the place to be. We, as a kingdom, we try to set up our own modular refinery. Because I did a program here, Economic Summit, Efroto Economic Summit. And one of the fallout from that, in terms of business opportunities, apart from agriculture, was modular refinery. So we talked about it. I said, if I'm going to tell people to come here and invest in modular refinery, somebody they asked me, if it's so good, why you not doing it? So we decided, we set up a body to see towards the actualization of a modular refinery for this kingdom. But along the line, I cannot be led down. The money to register alone was. But the important thing is that we were able to highlight the potential here. And we had at least 3 potential investors. Some of them are still working. They have not come up. But while we're doing that, government-owned petroleum companies became interested. MPDC, working with ND Western, partnership with ND Western, piqued interest in this business. In one meeting that they had with us, the traditional rulers of this area, I told them that there's a win-win situation that they have not taken advantage of, which is the modular refinery. But as God will have it, they bought into it. And today, because we have given them so much land before, they don't need to buy more land. They have fenced off a massive area for a modular refinery. Once that is done, I can see this becoming a hub, oil and gas hub, business hub. So other companies will begin to tap in for NPDC to tap into such a project, it means that it's viable and more people begin to come in. So we have that. An Igbo man, has just begun the process of setting up a paint factory. He has fenced off the place. Immediately after the rains, he will go into production. A Yoruba man, the pastor of Deeper Life, is producing here in this community, feed for fish feeds. Feeds for fish. Good quality. The first time I saw his packaging, I thought it was German. That was German. They said it's not up. Where is it? Where have I brought up? Say you don't know, he took me to the place. Amazing. So because the place is peaceful, industries are going to emerge. Somebody has just setting up the first hotel. You know, we are rural, quasi-urban. He's setting up a hotel in this place. And also made a request to the federal authority, and they granted us a police post. So we are having a police post here. They've laid the foundation. So up to DPC, COVID-19 and its financial implication has stopped the project. But the important is that we now have a police post in this kingdom. It will enhance security. It will enhance security of investors and non-natives, including the natives who are habitant here. If you ask me what am I doing? I'm a farmer. And I've also just recently established a sand dredging business. We cannot be looking for sand and we're going to get it. There are certain things that you should not do. Yes, there are certain things that you should not do. And we say we cannot. Again, if you want sand, you have to depend on a tipper coming from Ughelli, and it can take you 3 days to get that sand. So I did not only set up the pitch, I also acquired a tipper. So we have now sand that is made in Efroto and a tipper that is owned by Efroto to carry the sand to you once you need it. But I have to do these things to encourage other people to do them. Because the potential is there. Until somebody does it, you wouldn't know that you can live by it. And to reduce our dependence on government. Because why should we wake up every day and be blaming Buhari? You see where Buhari did for Abuja. See where Efroto did for here. You blame him for your inadequacies. See where Efroto did. See where Okowa did for Asaba. You are blaming Okowa every day for things that you can do for yourself. Those are the type of discrepancies that we don't want to live with anymore, to face reality, you know. So those kind of capital intensive projects that we cannot handle, we pass on to government. Those small things that we can do for ourselves, we want to encourage ourselves to do them. And how do you do that? Provide a peaceful environment, a secured environment for people who wish to invest. I want to welcome you to a photo kingdom again. Thank you very much. Well, it's a very simple system of administration. It's monarchical. That's why I'm sitting here. It's a monarchical system of government. And if you see the monarchy at the apex, these are the people that are next to the king. It's whatever they tell me that I do. Why you see them so? Yes, so I govern this kingdom with my chiefs. That is why we meet very regularly. Every week we meet to resolve any outstanding issue. That's how we operate. The next person to the king, in terms of individuals, is the Otota, the traditional prime minister, sitting with the king, govern the kingdom with the support of the chiefs. Then we have our youth. They are the soldiers of the community. They are the vibrant team. We work with them. If we want peace, be at peace with your youth. You cannot rule them out. So we try to bring them into whatever we are doing. Then the women are also organized into their own group. The Eweya and the Emete is a formidable group. Don't take care of them, then your kitchen will be in trouble. Then you are playing with your stomach. Yeah, so that's how we govern this place. Then spiritually, there is a spiritual head that attends to the spiritual matters, traditional spiritual matters of the kingdom. And we have the chief priest as the head of that body. Incidentally, he is here. The man on red. If you want to talk to the gods, go through him. The discussing, it interface between us and our gods. But when we want to speak to only one God, then we have the pastors. We have, as small as the kingdom is, if you traverse it, we have over 13 churches. If they say I should attend all their harvest, I will come and meet you for that.